Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Marianne, and welcome to your mid-month August remaining readings. I'm actually reading for the last 4, so hang in there if you haven't gotten your reading yet. I promise I always do what I can. I tend to take longer than most other readers, but it's only because I have another job, and I just work it in when I can. Whenever you watch is really the exact time you need to be watching it, so... funny thing about spirituality that way, and the non-linear aspect of energy. But I say, what I will tell you though, is I will be reading for the beautiful featured sign, as I call them, of the fire elements and mutable sign of Sagittarius. Hi, Sagittarians. Now we just ended Leo season and began Virgo season 2 days ago. Today is August 24th, and today also is the day that the very powerful and shocking planet Uranus is stationing retrograde, which it does every year. It's an outer planet, it moves slower, but boy, it has a pack. It packs a wallop when it's direct, and we've had some very interesting squares, as they call them, and conjunctions with Uranus this year, and particularly in August. So if you had Sagittarians, or all of you, maybe cross-watching, maybe Moon, Sun, Ascendant, or Venus in Sagittarius, if you've had something that just came out of nowhere, or so it seemed, and really quite shockingly so, that would have been Uranus. Now, when any planet stations retrograde, the first few days is kind of unusual. The energy is hard to really describe, even for me. I don't really have a word other than it's not, it's kind of in a hiatus, okay? You know, it's station, it's not quite retrograde, it's not quite direct, it's just going through the motions. And so that's what you'll be feeling for a couple days, perhaps, not being able to pinpoint. But when it is in retrograde, like all planets, it really is about receiving. There's the re's, right? It's about revisiting and renewing our thoughts, our perspectives, perhaps, reinventing and all those things. When retrograde Uranus does this, the effects of the shocking aspects and surprises that come in, that lessens, okay? Or we just simply, we get more used to it, and it doesn't affect us in quite as much of a jolting manner. And so that's kind of a beautiful thing. It also coincides really well with the fact that we are now in Virgo season, because Virgo is definitely the earth element. Virgo is a mutable sign, like yourself, Sagittarius. And mutable means, you know, open to changes, ideas, you know, trying new things, not so stuck in one set pattern or way about doing things. Now, it happens that Uranus has been in the sign of Taurus, a fixed sign, who does tend to be rather stubborn or stuck in certain ideals and ways about going things, and they tend to change a little slower than the average sign or other elements. With you, Virgo, you still like to do things your way, there's no doubt about it, but you absolutely have that beautiful part of you that, first of all, the sign of Virgo is definitely the archetype of the virgin, the person who is absolutely there for service and to be of help to others. This is a very key component. And that's the season we're going through now. So you may find it in yourself, Sagittarius, although you tend to be very caring and helpful in your way, you know, this is a good combination right now, because you're kind of slowing down from the little more frantic, excited, courageous, fun, you know, let's go have fun, let's party, let's get out there and start things and make them happen season of Leo. Not to mention that full moon, it was a new moon, I apologize. it was a new moon July 28th in Leo, so that was affecting all of August anyway. And then the new moon, no, that was the new moon, the full moon in Aquarius, which is Leo's oppositional sign. We all have them. Every one of us has the sign that's our oppositional sign that works really well. It's the complementary aspect, you know, it's the thing we don't have and they provide, and it's a great, you know, opposites attract kind of energy that happens. And so that's what happens when we have Leo and Aquarius here, as you can see. So the new moon in Aquarius was once again shocking, ruled by Uranus, you know, something very important, something we needed to face. We had the courage with the Leo energy. They can face anything. They will face anything. And it makes us all stronger for it. And we recognize our strength. Now, for myself personally, I had some information come through, and I'd known, if I'm going to be completely honest, I think a lot of us do. We have ideas. We know things are happening. We sense things or whatever. And then all of a sudden, somehow there's a message or a person who just brings it straight up and says, this is what's happening. And you're like, okay. No more pretending like maybe it's not, and you know, the possibility of sweeping it under the rug and all that, that's not happening. And of course it's better in the end, right? And then we can handle it and deal with things better. So that's what happened with the full moon. I'm sure for a lot of us, I've been hearing from people I work with and my clients and the readings I do. So it's just, it's necessary, you know, and it's not all bad, for heaven's sakes. I don't ever want to put that, especially not on my channel. I'm an optimistic person that wants to keep things happy as much as possible, because everything has two sides. And so let's focus on the positive, because we need to know truth, first of all, and what our truth is, and we need to feel good about that. And by the way, Sagittarius, you're very much a sign that recognizes the importance of truth. You are very interested in truth. You will set out to learn and study and share that information with as many people as possible. You know, the higher learning philosophical aspect of Sagittarius, pointing that arrow, you know, you're half man, half horse, getting out there, spreading the word. Physicality is a big part of you. You like to keep moving, you like to keep exercise, and it's helpful to release the extra tension and things that build up in our bodies. It's just been known. You don't want to overdo it. You do represent the sign or the card in Tarot of Temperance. So it's about the mediation of it and the balancing of it, you know, at all times. And it's about the ability to change things and to shapeshift and, you know, change water to wine and that sort of belief system, which I know that we all are capable of doing. And I know it sounds woo-woo and everything, but I mean, we're doing it all the time anyway. So you just know enough to know that, yes, you want to put everything you can into your dreams, your hopes, your relationships. You've got that fiery energy, you're optimistic, you're Jupiter ruled. I mean, and we've had Aries, Jupiter in Aries, which has also really been good for you this year because it's your fellow fire sign again. Granted, Jupiter is retrograde, but it'll go back into forward direction on the 20th of October when it falls into Pisces for the last time, and then back into Aries again through March 16th of 2023. Sagittarius. So this is fantastic for you. I did want to lay out some of the more important aspects and planetary things happening, as I always do. And I say thumbs up, okay? Because that's what we're dealing with. And it's always how you perceive things. But with the earthly energies, it's really the embodiment. You know, as a fire sign, you're a go-getter, you're spirited, you're like action-oriented, you know? Let's make it happen. But the combination of that with the earth element is not just about having to always be moving to make it happen, but feeling it more, resting and enjoying, you know, the natural processes that are occurring, and at the same time wanting to be more organized, be more practical about things, and you know, summer's not over yet. We've got another few weeks, and Labor Day's, you know, celebration is in a couple of weekends. But it's not until the 21st of September when we legitimately have the autumn equinox. So we've got time, but we're starting to feel the change. I know I am. I always am very sensitive to that. And the time, it's getting darker a little earlier. And we just slowly kind of gravitate. That's the earth. That's our physicality again, you know, and feeling the natural rhythms. And so you're no stranger to that either. And I think you're preparing in the last, you know, quarter of the year, basically. An important part for a lot of people, certainly in business, the fiscal year, you know, that part of the year. Just doing your due diligence, finish tying up the loose ends. We are, in fact, in the shadow of Mercury, as I mentioned. And that starts legitimately on September 9th through October 2nd. And it will be in the sign of Libra. And interestingly enough, and you've probably heard this if you've been watching other readings, every single retrograde this year, Mercury retrograde, has started in an air sign and ended for about a week towards the last week of the retrograde in an earth sign and then back into the air sign. So this time it starts in Libra. It ends for about a week or so. The week before it ended and starts going, you know, stations direct on October 2nd in Virgo. And then back into Libra for a little extended time because of the retrograde. So Libra, of course, is about the mind and an air sign, and as is, you know, Virgo. So it's really going to be a time for us to respectively recognize, you know, and introspectively think about where we're going. How are we going to handle this? How are our finances? How is our health? Are we getting our checkups done? Are we ticking off all the little boxes of things that we know we kind of put off during the fun times we've had this year in the summer and people getting out more and doing more? And that's okay. I think we all can appreciate that. Preparing for the holidays, you know, maybe setting aside a little extra money, slowing down on the expenditures. Those all come into play for this time. And vacation and nature and getting out and resting and a little respite, a little, you know, retreat is always in order. So hopefully that's something that resonates with you right now. I am using this beautiful light series to read your 4 major categories for the month of August. And keeping in mind that the last thing I'll say is that we do have a new moon happening in Virgo on the weekend, which is going to be the 27th. And new moons are always about new beginnings and writing down your intentions and where you see yourself 2 months, 6 months, 2 years, 5 years, you know, it's there's something very magical when we write things down. They tend to happen more because we're thinking it, we're feeling it, and we're physically, you know, there's the 3 steps of some sort. I'm not really repeating that to you well, but I think you get the idea. And it's happened to me many times where I've noticed, okay, write this down, check it off, done. So just a little tip there. I always like to do the spiritual uplifting tips. But the 4 categories are going to be, of course, the overall energy for August, the relationship sector, which is, you know, love of all different times, all different types, all inclusive, from single to romantic to friendships to work partnerships. It's all there. And then we have finances and, of course, the surprises or wishes category. So let's go on. Let's get it going for you, beautiful Sagittarians. Love you so much. You know, I've had a great deal of wonderful relationships and friendships with Sagittarians, and it keeps happening. It hasn't stopped. So for the overall energy of August, you have the 5 of Pentacles. This is interesting. It comes up a lot. It definitely comes up in my readings, which I guess I can relate to, if I'm going to be completely honest, and I always like to be honest. 5 of Pentacles is the earth element. It's the Virgo energy. And, you know, Virgos can be on the negative, little shadowy side, ever so critical. If not with other people, with themselves. And this is something that a lot of people don't necessarily see. They're so incredibly hardworking and caring, and that's all genuine and it's real. But they can be very, very hard on themselves, wanting to be perfect and do better than anybody else. You know what I mean? That's the reality. So we don't want to do that, and we don't want to hold on to any thoughts that somebody had said or done at some point in our lives. And we all have a person like that, or you know, family member, whoever, who did something or said something that kind of stuck in our brains, is like, oh, maybe that's true. It's not true. It's not true unless you want it to be true. And please don't. Because we all have the times when we're feeling a little less secure, or, you know, the self-image might be a little tainted for whatever reason. Pick yourself up, man. Trust in your abilities. Know you are always enough exactly the way you are. And know that there's always help and always guidance. If you have questions and you want to just be still and you want to ask them and then wait and listen for the answers, they always will come as well. Now, this is the forlorn person on the ground, you know, and just thinking, wow, I didn't do that well enough. I don't know that I have that opportunity. I don't feel like I'm enough. Not true. Let that be gone as soon as that comes into your mind, if at all possible, because the sooner you do it, the sooner it'll be out of your energy field. And 5 is halfway to 10. It's not a bad, you know, number as far as pentacles. It means there's security of sorts, and you've got something to build on, and every one of us has something to offer in the world. I don't know what it is or what it is for you, but you know what I mean. We do. You want to work with things that make you happy and make you feel good, because then that just is like an automatic energy builder and booster, and that attracts things to you because you feel good. So if you had some off feelings and something had happened that made you feel less than, maybe not even feeling well, maybe you had a little bit of a bout of something, it's not lasting, and it's a quick turnabout. And it's a time to really, you know, recognize it. And if there's something that needs to be done, go to the proper, you know, people, medical advisors, spiritual advisors, whatever works for you, to get that support and that help. And look for a Virgo or, you know, another earth sign to help you keep grounded and remind yourself of, you know, it's all right here. It's all in here, always available to us. So that would have been the overall energy that originally happened, but that's been a couple weeks ago. So that's what I like about whenever you come in, because it's ever changing. And I know that, you know, we all have our ups and downs and ins and outs. So, but there's always the new day. And as of Sagittarius, you totally get that. You're very optimistic. So hopefully everything is working well now, and that you have, maybe if you had a slight ailment, that it is absolutely on the mend, and you're taking care of that. And, or someone, you know, it doesn't have to be you. It could be around somebody and you're recognizing it and you're wanting to help, which is something that's notably known for Sagittarians. And then you have the second category, which is relationships. So it could fall in that sector. I don't know, but I will tell you that you have the 10 of Wands. So there you are. There you are. You're fiery, ambitious. Let's do it all kind of. I want to go here, there, and everywhere. And I don't know exactly, you know, what order. I just know it's all happening. Because I've never known a Sagittarius, including my own son, that skimps in that way. I mean, they seem to find time to do it all, if that's what they want to do. And it's fun and it's exciting, and they love the adventure. They love the freedom. They love travel, as I said. They like to get around and get places, and they want to learn and seek knowledge. And so in this particular depiction, which I've mentioned before, I really like, as opposed to a bunch of wands on the back of somebody's back, like a burden, too much. Well, that could be it too. Maybe you're feeling the burden of all this extra work that you've taken on. You can delegate, you can change that, and maybe it'll help you feel better. Maybe it's that funny little tick kind of, not feeling 100%, energy level's weird, you know. Well, it's once again the change of season coming. It's definitely retrograde, slowing things down a bit. But it's you knowing that, you know, you don't have to do it all. The 10 represents a new cycle. It's the end of this kind of overly, overt, way too much responsibility feeling, or, way too many parties and too much going on. You're ready to turn that dial right now. You're ready to dial it back a bit. And you'll have the influences of the planets anyway to help you in that regard. And we all need that. So I take a deep breath as I say that, because that's what automatically, instantly comes to me, is just take those deep breaths. Enjoy yourself, of course, but make sure you're getting the vitamins, the nutrients, the supplements during this Virgo time. Okay, the energy of earth and embodiment that I mentioned. So this is, as I said, relationships. Well, you probably just want to be doing this with that and going here and there and everywhere and just being, having as much fun as possible. Or maybe you feel like you've been taking on the responsibility that maybe some of your relationships could be helping with. This is something I don't know. It's a general reading, but it is for all Sagittarians. As I said, any placement. So please do watch your sun, moon, ascendant, or Venus, because they all have a very important aspect in our lives. We are more than our sun sign, but the sun sign, of course, is essential and important. And it is our personality and our dreams and desires, and it's who we hang out with and who we vibe with and that sort of thing. So the third is the financial. Now, we've gone from the 5 of like, is it enough? Am I enough? Do I have enough? To, way too trying way too hard maybe to make all that happen, or, asking for other help and not seeming to get it at the time that seems the most appropriate. But like I said, that is changing. And certainly those feelings we get sometimes when we didn't get enough rest, or we partied too much, those are the times that those doubts, will come into our minds more. I find that to be true. When I'm tired, I can cry very easily. But I cry anyway, so, but truthfully, it's something to think about. So financially, let's see how things are popping for you, as they say, for August. Because there's some beautiful, maybe that's the surprise element before this transitional retrograde of Uranus. Something came in that was just like, it's yours. You got it. You want it? More money, more opportunity, more responsibility, perhaps. Had to do with a friend or somebody that knows you and wants to, do a favor in kind, or something of that nature comes to mind. You have the 7 of Cups. Oh my, there you go. There's the card representing emotions, because it's the cups, and that is the element of water, Scorpio. The sign just before yours, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. Actually, the moon was in Cancer. It's now, like I said, gone into Leo, but you could have water placements in your chart as a fire sign, which softens some of that, fiery aspect, to where you have that sentimentality and that nurturing side, and you like being at home and you like being with your special loved ones, and you want to just kind of hunker down, as they say. So, but you have a lot of choices. When it comes to money, it does not surprise me. You have a lot of gifts, you have a lot of drive, and you've got Jupiter on your side for, the expansion of ideas and creativity, and right time, right place, and magic, luck, all put together. And so when it comes to finances, you've got everything you need. It's really about honing and being the temperance that you represent, to where you don't overdo it, don't underdo it. Focus on less, and the energy will be way more potent and much more powerful for you. Building the finances. Because I don't see you as having an issue with finances. We all have the times when we're like, oh, I need to cut back just a bit. Or, if I got a couple more clients, that would be good for blah, blah, blah. And that's what you're thinking, and that's what's being offered to you as well. But just like I said, Too many opportunities can cause too much responsibility. So just make sure you're being aware of that, beautiful Sagittarians, with all your energy. You know, we all have a lot to offer, but there is a point where we need to be very real and honest with ourselves and stay grounded during this time. The other card just fell out, and it is going to be the wishes and surprises. And this is interesting, but it is the Page of Swords. So I like this depiction. Once again, this is the Light Seers deck, and it's gorgeous, and I really, really love it. But what it has is the page is the suit of information, the messenger, the beginning of things, the green aspect, you know, the youthful part, the start, just in the beginning stages. Perhaps a child. The swords represent the air signs, and I mentioned, you know, we're about to enter into the retrograde next month of Libra. And Libra's a great sign for you. An air sign works really well with fire, and you might be involved in a Libra, but there's some ideas and information coming through that's going to be very, very handy and very helpful for you. And you're going to listen, you want to hear it. You really are. And interestingly enough, Mercury, which is the ruling planet of Virgo, the season we're in, which is also the ruling planet of Gemini. Well, Mars went into Gemini last weekend, and Mars is the fiery, very fiery as yourself, masculine, you know, ambitious, motivated, energy-fueled kind of planet that's gone into the sign of Gemini, which is excellent for you as well. And it's the idea, the Mercury rule, the mind, the continuous movement and idea, you know, motivated, connecting, intelligent, you know, way to start and to really create some amazing things. Okay, now Mars is going to be in Gemini for 7 months, which is a very long time. I think I brought it up at the very beginning. And there would be a retrograde. That's not happening until the end of October. But for now, some sparks of ingenuity and some really powerful stuff is coming around. And that Mars energy is perfect for you as well. So that's a surprise that could be really beautiful. The other thing I mentioned, like I said, was the Libra retrograde, but then going forward again, another air sign, another beautiful combination for you, and something that could be very, very instrumental in your decision of the many options, okay? And I do include love here. I absolutely do, because Venus is the ruling planet of Libra, and Libra loves relationships and love and ideas and, you know, keeping it just the conversations, they think and feel through their thoughts, okay? And that's appealing to you. You love a good conversation, you love a good debate, you love truth, and you will surmise from the information that this is right for you in some capacity. So I would consider that a beautiful wish surprise fulfilled. And I'd love to know what that means. It could be children too. Always remembering your childlike side, your inner child, having fun, nothing really difficult for you to remember. But overall, this has been an interesting month and continues to be. And I say you're going to let go of the possible change in your belief system about who you are and what you represent, and let that go immediately. Take away some of the burdens that you feel like maybe have been building up and causing a little more stress than usual. Allowing the amazing opportunities to come through and flow because you're rested more and you're retreating and you're taking time to really kind of just simplify right now, you know, and slow it down a bit. And listening and being very, very attracted to some very important message and news that's coming through in the way of your thoughts and conversations. That's beautiful. That's how a lot of, you know, very important ideas, inspirations ever start is through conversation. Also very much about our inspiration, our heart, our, our emotional involvement in it or manifestation of that. So I just heard my stomach growl. If you did, I apologize. But I like it a lot. I think it's been amazing. I think it had some very, very high points and some fun that you will remember for the remainder of your life. Some attraction, some introspection, no doubt. And so I'm going to finish with a couple of the oracle, like I always do. The first will be the rune, which is one of my favorite oracles, and it's so powerfully filled with wisdom, and it tends to be very, very synchronistic with a lot of the readings. So for you beautiful Sagittarians, I have picked the rune, which is, I always think this looks like a clef note. I want to say it looks like an S, and I'm wondering if I'm right about this. I'm memorizing these. I have my flashcards to read the actual definition, the number, and its potent meaning. Actually, I did that before, and I remember thinking, not true, so I'm going to go somewhere else with it. I'm going to say E. I don't know why. I hope I'm right. Every time I do it, I want to do an equation or some kind of something that correlates in my mind, because a lot of times they look nothing like our English alphabet. So let's see what we have here. I said E. I don't know what the E is. I'm sorry about that, and I don't even know that that's accurate, but we'll see. Because I'm learning them slowly but surely, and I will eventually know them all by heart, and I will be very excited about that. Here it is. Not at all right. It looks like an S, like I was starting to say, and that's what it is. Okay, so Wilo, the letter S, rune 16, 1 plus 6 equals 7. 7 is a very heavenly spiritual number. There are 7 chakras. There are 7 colors in the rainbow. 7 is known as a very lucky number. It is a guided number. It is a number we work through any difficulties and, challenges. Well, the theme is sun, wholeness. Ooh, it's pronounced Sowilo. I love that. The sun, as I said, we have the moon in Leo, and Leo is ruled by the sun. And we just finished, like 2 days ago, the incredible, powerful influence that Leo season has on all of us, and you in particular, as a fire sign. Well, the words involved, the keywords are empowerment, energy, well-being, light force, victory, guiding light. Wow. So whatever this was about was very fleeting, which tends to be the case when it comes to our emotions, because that's what they are. They're not who we are. They're our feelings and emotions. And they come and go constantly, right, for various reasons. So this is beautiful. I love seeing this. The magical working, achieving success, of course, increased spiritual will, celebration of life, health and abundance. Woohoo! So you are all about that, and you are going to do whatever it takes to make sure the new cycle isn't going to drain you, isn't going to allow too much of your time and effort, so you can have more of the temperance and the consistency. Less is more. And then you've got the 7 of Cups, as I said, so there's very many choices as to how that's going to come about. And then you've got this optimistic, beautiful Page of Swords saying, we'll figure it out. We're going to think it through. We're going to have the right conversations and meet the right people at the right time, and voila, there you go. Health and abundance. Key phrases: open yourself to the power, sunshine on your path, all is well, enjoy life, dancing in the light, basking in the warmth of the sun. The gods are smiling on you, the season of growth, energy at its maximum strength. Well, I certainly couldn't have said that better myself, and I'm very, very happy to read that to you because you deserve it. And, we've all had a lot of things going on in the last couple of years. It's still happening. And we've gone so well with just integrating and allowing ourselves to heal, but also to realize this is we're still moving through it, but it is dissipating, and things are, there's always the light. There's always the light at the end of the tunnel. We just have to stay strong and believe, and you certainly have those characteristics. So absolutely love that for you. And the final card is the Unshakable Inner Peace Oracle card. I'll read for you. I simply pick one at random and I read what it has to say inside. Thank you for tuning in. If you like what you see, please do like, share, comment, subscribe. It's all free. And push the notification bell, because I do have all different times when I upload. And I'm thinking of new plans for next month, and that's in a retrograde. So let me tell you right now, and I know people say, oh, self-made prophecy. Partly, no doubt, but retrogrades have absolute, Mercury retrogrades have absolute, energies that go along with them. One is having to do with anything with movement, like transportation, technology, our minds. So communication can be a little askew. Trying to formulate words sometimes, sending the wrong text or email. My gosh, I double check and I check again, and I still do those things. So it's okay. We get through it all. Just remembering that if you have a trip you're still planning to take, please double check your itinerary just to save yourself some time. It's a great time for trip, actually, because you can just sit and kind of, like I said, review and rest and retreat and renew. So you can start fresh when the retrograde stations forward again in October. We do it every year. It's 3 times. This is our 3rd one this year so far. So it's a good 6 months out of the year total with the shadowies on each side. But yeah, this is, it's a good time. It is a good time. It's always a good time. And just know with those things, and that's what I was starting to say. My uploads usually take a day or 2 to upload during retrogrades. It's just been that way. I'll do what I can, but I have some new ideas in mind, and I hope you'll come back to see that in September. You have 37, that equals a 10, 3 plus 7, and that is all about beginnings. That is the new cycle. Once again, a reconfirmation of that. You've got the 10 of Wands. That was the new cycle. Oh, I've seen this before, and I mentioned this. Rise above it. It's not yours to carry. You are an empath. Oh my gosh. I said the last 10 of your reading was this, and this is about the burden and overload. Too much responsibility, too much activity, too much fun. Yes, there is such a thing. It will take its toll at some point. So that's interesting. It is not all yours to carry, Sagittarius, and that's a second confirmation. And I like that when that happens. Thank you, Spirit. Also, I'm seeing this as the twins. Beautiful, beautiful illustrations. And as I said, that Mars in Gemini, it's your polar opposition, Gemini is. So you're going to be feeling this more than another sign will. And it's a good thing, but just knowing that, there's going to be some duality to it, also a mutable sign like yourself. So, new starts and then changes, and then stepping forward and back and reviewing and renewing before you go fully forward in this retrograde. But new, absolutely new. How can you detach from the drama? Whew, I can barely see that. Maybe I need to change these a bit. How can you... I love Gemini. I have a Gemini brother. I had a Gemini sister who passed. God rest her soul. Not quite 3 years ago yet. And yeah, there's drama. There could be drama. They're active and they're wanting to communicate and talk and be and share, and it causes drama at times, sure. Not like they cause drama, but it's interaction that can do that, right? It's just the way it is. Let me read to you what it says further. Because I know for a fact you're not really into drama that much. I mean, yeah, you listen, you have your fingers in a lot of different pies, and a lot of people are attracted to you and they want to talk and they want to learn and grow from what you have to say. You do have a lot of influence, believe it or not, Sagittarius. But you could do without too much drama. That's the reality. Or maybe you do cause the drama. What do I know? It depends on a lot of placements having to do with your personal chart. Rise above it, though. It's not yours to carry. You are an empath. An empath is somebody that feels and understands, and you understand the sensitivities and the nuances of things more than someone else. You have a very high capacity for intuition and even psychic abilities. You know things. You see things ahead of time. So, an unforeseen force is working in your life right now, and it's your superpower to feel other people's emotions. Being an empath means you're highly sensitive to the energy of other people, places, animals, and nature. It's a gift to have such a compassionate heart, as you are aware of other people's emotions, but it can be confusing if you don't understand this about yourself. Now, my son has a Cancer rising. He's a Sagittarius. A double whammy for sensitivity. Cancers are very in tune and very sensitive and very emotional and very, very caring. So, that could be for a lot of you, you have that watery element to boot. You are a natural empath if people turn to you for advice, and you tend to have a soothing effect on others when they are around you. That would be my son. As a highly sensitive person, you naturally want to help other people and take away their pain. But this is an important time for you to stop focusing on others and instead take care of yourself. This is interesting, Sagittarius, because that's really what this is saying. If you have these less than positive energies with this Five of Pentacles because of so many variables, a conversation that happened, something that didn't make you feel too good, something physical, whatever it is. Yeah, it's time to just focus and clear that up for yourself, okay? Because you're a dynamo. And, we all have, like I said, these things happen, but you need to not overlook that. It's time for you. You've drawn this card because many of the overwhelming feelings you've been experiencing are not yours. Okay, well, that makes sense too, and I totally get that. You have been picking up energy from others and transmuting it. As an empath, this is your gift to the world. You help heal by taking on others' pain. But it harms you if you don't know how to work with your energy. Give yourself time to rest. That's implied. Without judging yourself, release this pressure and instead listen to your own body. You can care for others, but you must first care for yourself. And that's just a good word of advice for all of us. It's not about being selfish. You know what they say when you're in a plane, always get the oxygen first. I didn't get it at all. When my kids were younger, I'm like, that's not happening. But of course you have to be able to be the strongest and be there for them, right? We are their protectors. That's our plan anyway. Anyway, I am super happy for you and feeling like this is a very important message or messages for you to continue to allow into your subconscious, allow into your life, and yet live your life as you will, because that's free will, and that's always something I like to bring up in my readings. These are suggestions, possibilities, they're guidance, but you always have the last word, as it were. So take great care of yourself for the remainder of the month, and make sure that you're, hydrating everything around that new moon, and you've got those ideas just percolating and you're writing them down. And I'll be back in some shape or form in September. So come on back. Thank you so much. Bye for now.